Ooh, and there's even a sign that popped up. The broadcast is live.
It's live.
But the audience is dead, Gene.
Pretty much.
The audience is dead.
It's okay.
You're in the show.
So are you.
Can see and hear you. I'm just going to read out shit on the screen. How was your week, Gene?
Good, man.
Yeah.
How you?
What made it good? What made it
How
good?
you?
I'm fine. What made it good? For God's sakes.
Well,
The way this works is question, answer, question, answer.
is that what we're doing?
Laughter, irreverence, and disbelief in the final answer. Why was your week good, Gene? Or were you just saying that?
I was just saying it.
See,
It was just a normal week,
it was just a normal week.
Yeah. Which is always good.
It's
Always good because I talk to you.
Name this quote, or no, name this quote.
Name this quote. Quote.
Who said this? It's from a rock and roll song. It's at the beginning of the song. Okay. It's just the normal noises out there.
Dude.
Come on.
Tom Petty. Actually, it was Stevie Nicks
Who
who
said
said it
Yeah.
on a Tom Petty song.
It was early morning.
How about that?
Roof.
How about that?
See, Gene, now my day's better.
Is it?
Well, I know that,
Well, have you seen the new?
potential. You have potential.
So there's I think it's next week. It drops. They're doing a
Wildflowers, yeah.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. The Rick Rubin production thing.
Yeah, I trust his family. I don't trust Prince's family so much. When Prince's family put the carousel in his house for $5 a ride, I was just like, okay.
What?
I may be making that up.
Okay.
But I wouldn't put it past them because they make everything about Paisley Park, museum, whatever. I get it. But Prince's family, you get the sense that they're like, Tom would have wanted this,
Right. I like the telling Trump not to use I won't back down.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Well, and there's so many bands have done that with him, right?
Yeah.
I think REM did.
I think they all have.
Yeah. Probably even bands who don't have a song have said in the future, if we have a song.
If I ever write a song, please never use it.
You're not allowed. You're done.
So Trump has COVID.
Yeah. Saturday Night Live was funny again.
Oh, man. Oh, shit. What's his name? The crazy face guy.
Jim Carrey?
God, thank you.
Yeah, he did a really good Biden.
I've never seen a Biden impersonation that was that good before.
It's like, don't do it, Joe. You son of a... Yeah, that was good.
That was pretty good.
Look lucid. His eyes were killing me.
It's so spot on. Like, yeah. And then what's his name's Trump is always spot on. I mean, he's been doing that for 3 or 4 years, but
This is my favorite. Like, people got upset, right? So Trump gets diagnosed a month ago or whatever, and then goes to the hospital. And Saturday Night Live, it's like they find out on Thursday, and by Saturday, they're going.
They're going.
And you have to figure that they had already probably had the debate thing figured out they were going to do it because that was already such a shit show.
Right.
And so they already had Jim Carrey and all that kind of stuff figured out. Chris Rock, obviously, his opening monologue was great and all that stuff. Yeah. But the SNL news, that was my favorite, man.
Those guys are awesome.
Oh.
It's one of the better news duos.
Yeah.
It's been on there for a while. Even back when Fallon and what's her name? Forget her name.
What you're doing with your fingers right now is just hypnotizing me. So for those of you watching at home, Gene is doing a finger flutter. I don't even know if that's the proper term.
That's my hypnotizing power.
So who you got? Shay, and then who's
Colin Jost?
Yeah. So Colin, I love this. He goes, "Hey, if Biden had gotten COVID and he was in the hospital, you know that right now Trump would be in front of his supporters.
Oh yeah,
mocking him, being on oxygen and stuff.
yep.
So get mad at us if you have to, right? And then Shay was like, and for those of you saying that this isn't the right time for comedy, it's mathematically the perfect time for comedy.
Yes.
Did you see it?
We need it. Yes.
When he said, imagine there's a person that just hates belts. They just hate belts so much. And they pick on everybody that wears belts. And right in the middle of yelling about how belts aren't that big of a deal, their pants fall down.
I know.
That's what just happened.
It is literally what just happened.
Yeah. And so then the drive around Walter Reed.
Oh, man. I just don't.
and the big black mask. I'm surprised it didn't say Biden on it because it looks just like his big black mask.
I know. It's the biggest mask I've ever seen. Does this guy have no, like, is there no, like, I don't even have words anymore. Like, I'm just making grunting sounds. It's like,
Is this really the best we can do? As a country of how many billions? We got 2 billion?
2 billion? I don't even know.
How many people do we have in this country? I don't know.
I don't know.
Hey, Siri, how many people live in America?
328 million.
You know what? That's what she would have said, except I turned off my internet on my phone because I didn't want to be disturbed.
320 million. Yeah, 2 billion would be a lot.
How many of those people can dunk? Okay. Because you would think that there's somebody more qualified. This is just the too old white guy thing.
I just don't understand.
Oh, and nothing against Biden. Maybe 20 years ago, right?
I'll take him tomorrow, bro. I'm
in. Don't get me wrong. I'm in. You know, it's the whole incompetent adult.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know, anything that changes it. But I'm just like, is this really the best we can do? I mean, I don't. Maybe it gets to the parties. Maybe it gets that whole process they go through. But you know what this feels like? It feels like if the NFL Combine was so broken based on the statistics and the analytics and all the crap they go through, that like somebody has poisoned the filters of both parties so that only this kind of stuff gets through.
Yeah. I went back and I watched the Rock video.
Yeah, we talked about that last time.
Yeah, and I wasn't quite prepared to have the political discussion, but you know, the thing that got me with that one though is one, the amount of fallout he took.
Oh, really? I didn't notice. A ton?
Oh my God, like every comment. It was millions of comments and they were just like fallout.
Wait, so muscleheads like Trump? Oh, I didn't see that one coming.
I don't know. But if you listen to it though, like the last few minutes where he's talking about just bringing humanity back to politics, I mean, it was spot on, and
yeah,
and then like whatever I was watching it and I listened to that and I was like, man, yeah, and then Kamala Harris's response to him, I mean, go back and watch it, was like spot on, and then I literally go to another site and it's like, Kamala Harris isn't black. Was like the headline on this. It was like some big site. It wasn't CNN, but it was like that level of news thing. And it was about this argument about how people are making an argument that she's not really black and stuff. And I'm like, that's what they're talking about, man. They're talking about how fucking crazy everybody is.
Well, you just got.
It's just like, but that's mainstream media. Where they're arguing over
media. Like, what was the outlet?
I have to look it up.
Was it the Daily Beast?
It might have been something like that. Hang on.
I mean, it's funny to me because, like, I try to no,
it was NBC News. Yeah, Kamala Harris is an Asian and black. That shouldn't be confusing, but it is to some. It's the headline. It's NBC News.
Oh my God! And it's not.
But it's like, that is NBC News. That's the thing that they're running. And I know it's like hey, she is, what's your problem? But why are we even given that?
It's clickbait.
Yeah, I know. And that's
the rise to the top. The business of media I mean, and obviously we're not saying anything that a lot of people aren't saying, but the business of media has shattered the concept of journalism.
It really has.
There's no reason. I mean, I love Vox Media. I do. And it's because they generally seem to just focus on the truth and occasionally call out the stupidity, and the stupidity on both sides, right? I mean, as far as I can tell, like you look at Politico, okay, that's going to be off on one side. Fox is off on one side. CNBC on one side. MSNBC, that same side. All the others are on the same side. Okay. But then you got Fox News. You got some of these others that are just like, but I try to look at the headlines on all of them. And this would be a fun matching game. Which of these are the same story?
Oh, that would be. That'd be hard to do.
Just match the headlines.
I would lose. Yeah.
Oh, it's so painful. I can't even. I just can't even.
But that's one of the. I think that's one of the things is that we've lost humanity in the sense of like, you know, clickbait and money over the actual story. When we have like John Oliver and name another guy, like what's the Late Show guy who does the.
Well, I mean, or
he used to do the Saturday Night Live. Who's that?
Trevor Noah,
and the guy who used to do Saturday Night Live News. He's now got his own late.
Dennis Miller.
How old are you?
How old are you, man?
Anyway, but that is journalism.
Are you talking about Seth?
Yeah, Seth. Yeah. Like those segments that those guys put together is journalism compared to what we get.
When Jon Stewart was doing the Daily Show, right? Like, that was more journalism. It was journalism with, you know what? A spoonful of sugar.
Yeah.
So you could laugh with them because it was so painful.
But there's more humanity in their stories than NBC News. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. You know who I really like right now is Dan Rather on Twitter.
Yeah. What's his news network? News and Guts or whatever it is?
I don't know. I mean, does he actually have? He doesn't really have a network affiliation anymore, does he?
No, but he started his own website.
Now he's on his own, right? And he's just like, I'm gonna do shit. That's kind of amazing because he's a bajillion years old, right?
He is, but he will call it out. Like he'll call both sides out when it's bullshit.
Exactly.
And I respect that. And it's Dan Rather.
Is he old enough to be president, though?
Not quite yet.
Really old.
Not quite yet.
You have to be 35.
I know.
35.
I know.
Where are my youngins at?
I know. Somebody. Oh my God, help me.
Bring it in.
Okay. So welcome to the BizCraft Politics Show.
It's all about business.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's all about clickbait titles.
Clickbait title. Well, you know what? It's a good point.
Clickbait.
We've all done it.
So getting back to business, let me ask you a question.
Oh, Lord. You prepared something. Go ahead.
I didn't.
No, I saw the look in your eyes. You were like, I'm going to look at my Post-it note. All right, what you got?
It's on my phone, man.
Hold on. I'm stretching. All right. You watch UFC?
Yes.
I knew it.
Why do you know it?
Well, I stumbled into it Saturday night.
Oh, man, that was some good fights Saturday night.
The women's match that ended up in the sleeper hold.
The Nunes and yeah.
Wow.
You like that?
I did not see that ready to happen. And then suddenly the Venezuelan vixen is in trouble with the other person's wrestling name.
Yeah, the nicknames are funny. But how late did you stay up?
I don't know. 9:30. Yeah, I don't know. 1:32.
I was say that was the main card, man. That was a little bit later than that.
Good.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good night of fights. I'm big fans of Carlos Condit and then Holly Holm.
But
both won. What?
Yeah, one of them. Yeah, I don't know about all of them. Okay, so you were getting ready to ask me a question, and I interrupted because
I'll talk about UFC all day, man.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
You want to talk about a business? Good
Dude.
Lord.
Yeah, and everybody's talking about like, you know, NBA and NFL and COVID and how they're doing stuff. Meanwhile, UFC's been doing it since like fucking April.
Yeah.
You know, like they figured it out. They don't even give a shit. Like it's interesting watching fights now because you can literally hear, like when somebody gets hit or kicked, you can hear the smack. You never hear that before.
Really?
You can hear, like, through one mic, you can hear the corner man talking to the person in the corner. It's like no secrets here.
Yeah.
So it's super quiet. It's really weird. You can, like, they were pointing out Saturday night, you could hear them in the room warming up out on the main ring.
That's something else.
Like, whoa. Yeah. So that's fascinating. And they're talking about, like, what is it, NBA? You were talking about that, where they're pumping in audience sounds and shit.
Sound noise.
Yeah. It's crazy.
When then I didn't watch much of the game, but the Chiefs Patriots game last night, there was one time where Mahomes came up to the line and I could hear everything he was saying.
I kind of like it.
It was almost like you want to say, dude, your mic's on.
Like, you hear you.
I know what you're saying.
I kind of like that, like, vision into the game that we get when you can hear that stuff,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of like when the coach is mic'd up or whatever.
Yeah. Do you remember the time, you probably don't, they did an NFL game. I was probably like 10 years old, and they did no announcers. It was just the noise of the game.
That's weird.
It did not work. But I thought it was kind of a great concept, though, like to just try different things.
Yeah, it could be.
Because what do? They look, and the announcers get the shit beat out of them.
Right.
And then it's like, well, what if we just try it without announcers?
Let's just do it.
And then they did that, and they went, yeah, that's not good.
Nobody likes it. Nobody knows what's going on.
No.
Even when you go in person, there's somebody, like, on the loudspeaker, like, they just did so-and-so. You're like, oh, cool.
Yeah, customer feedback. They never always, I mean, there's no way you can give the whole context to somebody of what's going on. I mean, it's amazing to me, as bad as we think refs are. Then you go back and you look at the split second in slow motion that they got right.
You're like, oh, they saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Good times. Okay. Sword. Okay. Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, man.
The expanded pack is coming out. Yeah.
That's funny.
Aaron Griswold.
Yeah, isn't that great? If you actually tune into the show while it's live,
well,
we can put your comments up here.
Given his acting career, I'm surprised he has time. Anyway.
Oh, man. So I was going to ask you, man, like, what made you originally start your business in the first place?
Oh, sorry, what?
Why did you go out on your own? Why did you quit?
Originally?
Yeah, we covered that a long time ago, but we haven't talked about it.
No, I mean, I think I got to a point where I was just disillusioned because I had put so much of myself into somebody else's company. And then I realized they're going to go in a direction that I just don't agree with, or I guess my ideas, it's not that they were shot down. It's just they weren't going to line up. So you've got somebody who started a company at the point when I was considering leaving. I think they were coming close to 20 years. I had been there 14 of them. And I think it was just this realization that it's going to sound bad, but they're not there to give me a career, right? If you're in the creative services, if you're in web services, if you're in a small company, like less than 100 people doing that, you start off and you're just like, this is amazing. And I found this amazing group of people and we're building great stuff and we're doing all these things. And then you get a little bit higher up the mountain and you're like, whoa, look at all of us. We're really doing this. We're doing something great. Then you get up to the top of the mountain and you realize everybody's just looking around like, what the fuck do we do now? We're at the top of the damn mountain. And you still got people climbing up. You still got all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, it's not your mountain. I mean, it's the people who started that company and you've got nowhere else to go. And it's not just about career advancement. It's not just about recognition. For me, it was a chance to try my ideas. I saw so many things that I thought were wrong. I didn't understand all the context of why those decisions were made or remained. But yeah, I think that was it. It was just like, I wanted to do it my way, you know? What about you? Well, work release. I know it was hard for you to get.
Yeah, well, when they took the ankle monitor off, I was able to go across the block. No, well, it's kind of similar. I would, it's right around 2000 or so. Anyway, I'd work for a couple of I want to call them startups, like internet business companies or whatever, and they kept failing.
The old IBC.
And it was like
the internet business companies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one was realty.com. It was a great domain. It still is. I don't even know if there's anything there anymore.
Good one.
That was like 20 years ago. But
I think they got overtaken by realtor.com.
Probably. But anyway, shit like that. And they, would go out of business or whatever. And then it was like, okay, another year, got to find another gig. And it was just like,
what years were these?
It's the early 2000s.
Oh, it was after the bust. Got it.
Yeah. It was like during all that shit, So yeah, so it was more like, just if I'm gonna fuck something up, like I'm gonna fuck up my own stuff.
My own thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's see how quickly I can go out of business.
Yeah, and I never did.
Yeah. You never finished anything, Gene.
That's true.
You never followed through.
Hey,
damn it, my business is still going today.
Yeah, damn.
I'm paying a majority of my mortgage.
No. If only it would not fail so bad. No, it's interesting, but my question was more like, I was talking to somebody here at SoCo, and it was like, I just heard the same vibes over and over and over and over. And I can't say that mine were much different, and hear me out, but it's like, how much is starting your own business or your own idea or whatever, like, is hubris, is that the right word? Versus hubris versus like survival, like, and I don't think either one's a bad thing, right? I don't think having a bit of an ego in a good way is, a bad thing. I'm not talking about like arrogance. I was talking about like, I can do it better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many times have you heard that?
I can do it better?
Yeah. I mean,
you mean in my own head? Like every time I see anything.
Yeah, of course.
Like I'm looking at a door. I can make a better door. That door's stupid.
No, I mean, you sit on top of the bureau. You see, like, all these companies.
I'm sitting on top of it.
Well, you're in it. You're sitting in it. Whatever. However you want to put it. I mean, how many times do you hear that? Like I started this business because we could do such a better job than the place where I was at.
Actually, none.
You don't?
No, I mean, I think you hit on it with something else, though. I mean, occasionally do, but no. Occasionally, what you hear is we're just really great and all these kind of things. Then you get to know them, and you're like, "Whoa, you are dead inside." It's like nobody is telling the owners what's really going on in the organization. They're being protected, so they think everything's really great, but it's eroding in the middle.
Right.
But what I hear all the time is I didn't have a job, or I had a job and the company needed a website, and so I built one, and then I liked that better than the job.
Yeah,
and
right.
I knew that whole accidental entrepreneur thing.
Right. That's cool.
And so I started doing stuff, and then suddenly I had 4 or 5 people around. And I was like, I don't understand business, and yet I got a company. So I'm going to have to figure that out. I mean, that's the key thing that drives people to the bureau, is not knowing or understanding or thinking that they don't know or understand business. A lot of times they're way smarter than they give themselves credit.
Right.
But I think that's, I mean, for a lot of people, I mean, right now, I was talking with somebody this morning. Now I sound like a politician. Gene, it reminds me of a story.
Can I finish my question?
I was talking, no. But one of the shops I was talking with this morning, it's like a 50-person shop. Ooh. Person who started it got put out of business. It was fired, laid off, whatever. And I was like, well, shit, I got to do something. So this was 8 years ago. And started just, working freelance, doing side gigs, this or that, landed something bigger than what they could handle, brought somebody else in, realized they didn't look that professional because it was just like a few people working on something. So they branded it and then they grew, you know, because I think a lot of it's more accidental seeds in the wind. But
why do you think that is? I mean, why do you think that something like that has? I don't even want to. I think I'm going down the wrong tree by saying like better.
You don't go down a wrong tree. You go down the wrong path.
Down the wrong hole.
I'm barking up the wrong path.
Yeah,
it's a very confused dog.
Excuse my metaphor.
Where's that dog barking up a path?
I don't know. Why is that tree growing in a hole?
You don't throw up, you throw down. Anyway.
That's true. But I mean, why do you think that sort of like accidental growth may be a little bit better than the like on purpose growth? Where's the premise of that question even correct?
No, it's interesting. So I would say it's probably mindset, right? If you show up and think, I'm going to grow this, don't make that face. Okay, stop it right now, Forrest Gump. If you show up and you're like, okay, I'm going to start a company and I'm going to grow this. I'm going to do these things. I'm going to read books on growing companies and I'm going to listen to podcasts and I'm going to do all this stuff, right? Then you're trying to build somebody else's thing. You're like trying to, you know, but if you're like, I got to pay my mortgage and you're not sitting there thinking, I understand everything.
You're just thinking about what works.
Yeah, you just start, and you know, it's that little bit of fear and that constant questioning that probably helps you fine tune to a point where clients are happy. Now, that's not the way you grow a business.
Yeah, fuck that.
That's the way you end up working for a client.
Right.
But you know, and I had this conversation with somebody today, which I think is the other part. It's like you finally learn that the customer's not always right, but they're always important. You know, and that's where people fall apart, I think, is they think the customer's wrong. They can go to hell. So no, the customer's wrong, but we still need them.
Right.
So let's get them right. Let's get them to that point. But honestly, I think to your question, it's like, it's a difference of feeling like you're going to, and I'm sure business people will crucify me for this, but having a plan versus let's work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got to deliver stuff so that I can get money. That's the transaction I need. That's how companies grow.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah. I kind of always shudder at that. Like, you know, over the years of work with like MBAs and shit. And it's always like, they're like, we got to like sit back and make a plan, basically. And I'm like, do we really?
Here's
like,
your business plan.
Yeah.
All right, I have to go to the bank.
It's pretty simple. Like, find stuff to do it, get paid for it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how much more
work on the weekends.
Try not to. I don't know how much more complicated it needs to be than that. I'm with you. I'm sure people will be like, you guys are idiots.
Well, probably, you know, but hey, where's your podcast?
Yeah.
They probably have one.
Everybody has.
But you know, the other thing, when you look at this particular space, right? So, I mean, it may be the same in every industry. I've only been in this one, really, unless you count those 3 nights working at Subway as a sandwich artist. But
sandwich artist,
eat flesh. But when you start to think about the web and how fast everything changes, if you're building apps, if you have a long-term product, if you're building websites, whatever, things change so much that you are already the kind of person who was drawn into something that was not stable. It was already going through all this crazy changes all the time. Right. So why not do that on your own? Because you're already in this mindset of you're gonna tackle the frickin' bowl, right? It's like the technology is always changing. What people expect is always changing. Right. Platforms you put what you build on is always changing.
Shit.
So yeah, you're probably already in that mindset. I mean, I'm also sitting here thinking now about other businesses where people spin off, right? You have like private practice for doctors, dentists, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you buy the practice from the previous person, that kind of thing. But yeah, lawyers, right? Like somebody doesn't get the partnership, so they start their own thing. It's not as dangerous, right? Because it's not as, I guess it's not as turbulent. Because when you start your own shop in the web space, you're probably gonna put your bet on something.
Yeah.
Because you're really good at that.
Mm-hmm.
And that needs to stay relevant, whatever it is.
I don't know how related this is, but my dentist,
unrelated,
it's been really fascinating over the past, I've gone to the same dentist for like 20 years, and
they still haven't fixed it, huh?
the original guy retired, and he sold it, and it was an individual that bought it, but they loaded like a franchise, right? And within 3 years,
Dentist of America.
Yeah, it was like a franchise. I forget what it's called, Bella Dentistry or whatever. But within 2 years, I was like, I'm finding another dentist. I fucking hate this. And then
what did you hate it?
Just it was like going to a fast food restaurant. It was just and you go I need a teeth cleaning, and they're like, do you have a dental pick or whatever? I'm like, yeah, you sold me one last time I was here. Shit like that.
I got it.
Just total just like a machine, everything. And I didn't like it was I wanted that personal thing. Well, they went out of business and they sold it. And now the guy who bought he bought it. He's like, look, I want to do it like the original guy. And he's fucking great.
There you go.
And he's I've been watching him. He's taking off like crazy. And it's just been interesting to watch that. You're talking about things that spin off or businesses or whatever. I mean, it's dentistry. It's the same shit no matter what, right? But the different approaches, it's been a fascinating study for me to think about how I approach, working with clients versus how maybe a bigger shop might approach.
You're trying to make the show relevant again, Gene. You got to stop this thing where you try to hook it back in. It's that's not going to work.
Yeah, I don't know.
But let's stick with the dentist thing, because this is interesting. So I had gone. I'd gone or not gone to the same dentist for a long time in San Marco. When I no longer worked in that part of town, I kept the dentist because it's a pain for whatever reason. It seems to be a pain to change. So then when I had this whole tooth crack nonsense.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah, I went to to my original dentist. They couldn't help. They sent me around some other places. And then this is the thing that doctors, dentists, everybody does. If you haven't come to see them for a while, they make you go back through the new patient process, right? So my doctor, Dr. Vinny Rubart. No, just kidding. All the doctors went, what? But my doctor, I don't get sick very much, right? I don't get hurt very much. Right. So I'll go every couple of years for a physical. Mm-hmm. That's kind of it. Well, they now have a thing that if you haven't been in to see the doctor in 18 months, you're a new patient.
Huh?
So you have to go in, fill out all the paperwork. You have to have a new patient visit before you can get an official visit. So now
you've been coming here for 15 years, bro. What's going on?
It's college with this guy, 17 decades. So it's one of those things where you're and you can see the other doctor, the one who's building practice, that doesn't have anyone. I see my doctor at the supermarket more than I see him in his freaking office. So hey, can you look at change anyway, right? I'm just going to change dentists. So I go onto the Yelp for dentists, which is called Yelp, and I go through. Just down the street, called Arkham. It's a lot like Arkham Asylum. All I know is it kind of made me nervous. The Joker was going to be in there laughing. But Tank. I go in, I look at it, and I called them. Super nice. They asked for my insurance and all this kind of stuff. They said, hey, you're going to have to fill out some paperwork, but we can just email it to you if you'd rather do it before you come in.
Heck yeah.
I'm whoa, a dentist with email? This is amazing.
Future.
Because the other one didn't have it. And then when I got my appointment, I got a Google Calendar invite from the dentist. to make sure and they said, hey, we normally text people too, but a lot of people don't like that. Do you want us to do that? Or yeah, I'll turn it off if it's annoying.
Yeah.
But sure enough, it's like just like running an event, right? 3 weeks out, they remind you. A week out, they remind you.
Yeah.
Where the fuck are you? So go through all that. Go in there. X-rays do not have an X-ray machine. It's all plugged into a computer, so it's all USB based, right? But my favorite, this just happened. So I've got to go back in there and do the follow up on the split tooth, cracked tooth, and all that stuff. But I got an email from them saying that my insurance benefits were going to be running out. It will be renewing, right, in the next 2 months. So I should take advantage.
See, that's helpful.
What's left on there, and they actually told me. They were like, "Hey, you've still got $900 worth of coverage."
It's beautiful.
And they even planned, so like with the surgery for the tooth, they even planned it so that some of it happens in January once the insurance renews. That's smart business because they're getting paid either way. They're making me feel like somebody's making me smart because I damn well wasn't paying attention to that.
Right. You'd have been like, whatever, I'll go in February.
Yeah. And it turns out the Joker's a pretty nice dude.
He's got nice teeth.
Yeah.
He
completes me.
We studied dentists at the gym for
Did you dissect them? Did you put them in formaldehyde? Bring out the dentist.
We were having as you know, it's really hard to get people to go to the gym.
Yeah.
And we were thinking like, well, what is something that's similar that people would hate going to? We're like, the dentist.
Yeah.
Turns out it's a thing. If you look it up on the internet, like the dentist and going to the gym are like kind of on the same level.
What?
Yeah. People hate it. So there's a huge
one's got some hairy-handed dude's hands in his mouth. The other one, you've just got a lot of sweaty people.
Hairy-handed guys with, yeah, it's gross. I don't want to think about that. But they have a big problem with cancellations. The dentist does, and we do at the gym where we'll have someone set up an appointment and they just won't come, and then you reschedule it, they won't come.
Yeah.
So it's a big issue. And
I tried my whole dating life before I got married.
So dating you is like going to the dentist,
or the gym.
Anyway, it was interesting to study that industry because they have a lot more technology and they have a lot more stuff that they employ to try to get people to not cancel. As you see, they're one of the first industries to use texting and stuff like that.
So that's interesting. So how, it's my turn to bring it back. We notoriously, the web industry, right? The service side, notoriously clients go dark. That's kind of the equivalent of canceling, right?
Yeah.
So we would charge them more. Well, I guess that's what a dentist does, right? If you cancel within 24 hours, you pay for a certain part of the. See, we never should have tried to bring it back to relevance.
Not new clients, right? Not new. Like you're an existing client. If you set up for a root canal, then you don't show up, they're going to bill you, right?
Or they'll come to your house and
it's all hold you down and you're
yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah, we're talking about like new clients or whatever.
Is that what we're talking about?
That's what I'm talking about. What are you talking about?
Whatever the hell I want. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what Aaron Griswold's listening to.
Is that the Lost DVD?
Yeah.
Box set.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Season 1.
Season 1.
It's the best season.
Yeah.
I could. Has it been open? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Awesome. It's been watched. Yeah, man.
Kate.
I know.
A lot of characters whose names I remember, but
just that one.
Kate.
Yeah.
Good times, bro.
Remember Locke and the Smoke Monster.
Yep. The #1 best show.
That show used to drive me insane because it was so good, and I would watch it, and then by the end of it, I was like, "Fuck this show!" And then, sure enough, next week I'd come right back.
Well, what I loved was the way they integrated the web and everything else into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the companies that were on there actually had websites,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you would go and check all that stuff out. And at Engine, it was always this. The next morning you come in because shit wasn't streaming or whatever, and everybody's just like wide-eyed talking about it. And I think one of the best signs we ever put in the window was "Not Penny's Boat."
Oh,
Like,
nice.
people freaked out over that sign. Not Penny's Boat.
Yeah. They never explained the six-toed or three-toed, whatever it was, foot either. It's bullshit.
Well, you remember, so when there was the writer strike, I think it was season 5.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Suddenly there were like 20 new characters on the island.
Yeah. Like, what?
Freaking out. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And then once the old writers came back, like the strike was over, do you remember Sawyer? Do you remember what he said?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's like, I don't even recognize half these people.
Yeah.
So it was like the real writers like taking a jab at the scab writers. Yeah. That was funny, man.
It was, yeah. That's true. I forgot about that. That probably affected that show a lot more than we realize years later. But as we learned, J.J. Abrams can't finish anything.
That is not. No, okay, that's true.
It's very true. Come on, man. So have you heard of the Snyder Cut, right?
Mm-mm. No.
So I know I think we talked a little bit about this.
We have Snyder Man here. It's an
Snyder Man.
Snyder AC and Snyder Man. Snyder Man. Yeah.
So Zack Snyder directed the early bit of Justice League, right? And then what's this guy's name? What the guy who did the Avengers?
Keep going.
He did Serenity.
You can do it.
What's his director? I don't remember his name. Joss Whedon. Hey, I did it.
There you go.
Yeah. Anyway, Joss Whedon took over, finished the movie out, Justice League. And it wasn't that great, right?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, there's a Snyder Cut coming out on HBO Max. And it's like 4 hours long. It's his interpretation of it. He's going to finish it. Well, now they're talking about the Lucas cut of whatever, The Last Jedi, whatever the fuck that one was called, the last one. But it's like kind of funny, right? Because it's like, oh, okay, so the Snyder Cut's getting some play, so we're going to do the Lucas cut, you know. Meanwhile, that guy probably wasn't on set at fucking all, you know.
Okay, so this is like totally shifting here. Spielberg. He notoriously, if a movie did bad, he would go into hiding. I think this was in the Robin Williams biography. But I guess, oh yeah, it was after Pan.
Okay, well, I'm probably going to hiding after that too.
Well, no, okay, that's fine. Whatever. I mean, I thought it was an okay movie. It wasn't a great movie, right?
No.
But Spielberg like just went into some cave somewhere where he couldn't hear the media, he couldn't see anything, totally severed ties with Robin Williams, like just wouldn't do anything. And then I think it was later when it might have been when Robin was first sick, but at some point Spielberg reached back out to him and said, "Hey, sorry, I'm back.
I'm back."
But this just cracks me up. That I mean, I guess you look at him, you're like, yeah, you're gonna run away. You're gonna run away.
What did he do after Indiana Jones 4? You think he went into hiding? Pretty sure he did.
Yeah, it could be.
Fucking
Was that the one with Sean Connery?
No, that was 3.
That was 3. All right. I think he was lacing up his shoes as they were starting to shoot 4. Because he knew where they were going.
Fourth one with Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, yeah.
Shia LaBeouf. Who, actually, I've become quite a fan of his recently in the past year or so. I don't know if you pay attention to him.
No.
You should look him up. He's pretty cool.
Like what's the good stuff? Like where do I start?
Oh well, he had a bunch of like substance abuse problems and kind of abusive father.
Start with substance abuse problems.
You should, yes. But anyway, he's recovered and it's a good. It's a good
what
story.
Should I watch?
He's got a new movie out. I forget the name of it, but it's pretty good. It's like Peanut Butter Falcon or some shit.
Peanut Butter Falcon.
He plays his dad in the movie.
Okay.
And then there's another actor playing him as a young him. So apparently he was like a young, which I didn't really pay attention, but he was a child star, and his dad, like he was, led a very unhealthy life in terms of his dad, like, basically letting him do whatever the hell he wanted to, as long as he continued to make money and stuff like that.
Are you just going to keep talking? You're just going to keep talking, even though you realize that you're so far off whatever the hell it was, because all I asked was, what should I watch? And now you've told me Peanut Butter Falcon, which I don't even want to type that into the web. I'm just like, if I do that, I have no idea
it's a movie, man.
What ads are going to start following me once I start typing Peanut Butter Falcon.
I think that's the name of the movie.
Okay, here's a bizarre thing. I got so we're going through clearing out a storage unit, like just trying to eliminate some of that crap, right? And Kat found this LaCie drive. It's like a 4 terabyte drive.
Okay. And
I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh, what the hell is this? And it turned out it was all the videos that a videographer had shot for us from one of the events, right? From Owner Summit in Austin. The guy who shot it also did Red versus Blue Halo. Like he was part of the team that did that, so they didn't make any money. But now I'm getting LaCie ads for those big terabyte drives. It was just on the counter next to my laptop.
Right.
I didn't even plug it in. How the fuck does Amazon know?
Yeah, really?
Because they're now like suddenly, all I've been buying is like, protein shakes and I've been, books or whatever. And suddenly Amazon just knows that a 4 terabyte drive would be nice. Hey. I've not one.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I left it in storage for God's sakes, but it's even got the same crazy orange, like drop it off a skyscraper case and nothing's going to happen to it.
That's a good one. That drive lasted me a long time.
Yeah. It lasted me, at least 3 years in storage. So
I'll tell you what's awesome. It was an older bureau gift. It was like a charger thing with a flashlight on it or whatever. That thing is, I still use that thing.
Those things are great.
It's awesome. I think I charged it once like a year ago and it's still charging my shit.
There you go.
Awesome. Yeah. I don't know what kind of battery it's got in it, but it's going to explode one day and kill me. But
talk about it.
It's nuclear power.
So, living in Florida, hurricane season, all that stuff, we have about 12 of those, the one that you have. Okay.
Power your whole house with that.
It's like a power brick. Well, no, but if the power goes out, we don't have to worry about any of our devices.
You're good to go.
So it's like, yeah, we're going to be fine.
I can start my car with that thing.
Yeah. That was good. Yeah. What was it? Hoy wrote a tagline for it. A Bureau of Digital, keeping owners in charge since 2012. See what he did? Yeah, he left. I don't know if it was because of that tagline or not. I thought it was a good one, but obviously you do not. Tagline. Yeah. Hey, so not that we should make a whole episode of this. Hold on. Siri is now writing down everything that I say.
Well, you said Siri earlier.
I'm going to close that. Let me say that again. Not that I'm going to make an episode of this. No. Another thought coming. Hold on. I got a Joe Biden impersonation coming here. I got 47 starts of great thoughts.
I know.
But we redid the entire Slack channel organization for the
right.
Because there were 60 channels and we got it down to 38. Which makes sense because there's so many different groups. You want to talk about something that's terrifying because the only thing people hate worse than a mess is cleaning it up. If you suddenly, well, yeah, but this was important because of this. Luckily, nobody's had a problem. Everybody's been cool. This person would never know. I get an email from one person. Said, can you explain the naming conventions? What does commons mean? Well, commons was like a piece of land that a community shared.
Right.
You might hear the Boston Commons or
right.
Universities have common areas or things like that. everybody's super positive. One slightly negative. Why is it called that? And I'm like, blow it up.
Yeah, blow it up.
Blow up the whole damn thing.
Just kill it.
But no, so that's kind of cool. This is the whole don't waste a pandemic. Like we're cleaning out bureau closets. Like we're trying to get things organized better.
I'm terrible at that stuff. At like going and reorganizing just details like that. My brain just turns it off.
Oh man, it just makes me nervous. But you got to realize that having an easy to navigate way to communicate with 500 plus people that are members,
it's pretty helpful,
pretty important, right? That is the business. Whereas with Engine, we did have somebody who would keep everything tracked because they were OCD, and it was great. I do not have any problems with that, but that was not what the clients wanted. It wasn't like putting money. That would have been non-billable time.
Right? Yeah, they don't care.
Whereas this is exactly what bureau people want. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's, yeah.
What are those other thoughts? I had one that was like really good.
Damn. We'll save it for the next show.
What? Gene, are we through another show already?
We are. It's been an hour.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And we've expanded our base. We did. Dentists are listening.
Dentistry. That's a lot of people that don't want to go to dentists.
I'm excited to go because I know I'm sticking it to my insurance company. They actually even make it sound like that a little bit. Hey, let's not let them get away with this.
That's probably a very good marketing.
You know what? Let's sharpen some teeth while we're in there.
Yeah. I just get this one that's sharp. It's like I open my can.
Yeah. Do it like what Baker Mayfield when he shotgunned that can. You ever see that video?
That's crazy.
He's at some baseball game and he like shakes up a can of beer and shotguns it with his tooth.
Whoa.
And now that guy lives in a stadium. It makes no sense.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Skills, talent.
You got something.
Let's not talk about professional football.
Cut gums. All right. Well,
Crawford.
Yes, sir. On that note, we will end with cut gums and until next Monday.
Until we podcast again.
Yes.
You're my knight in shining armor.